Hello everyone, I'm extremely delighted to present next video in my objective series. Every question has been explained in very lucid manner. So now come to the first question of this video. So question number 71. In every society you can observe conflict, Sanskritization, cooperation, conflict and cooperation. So the correct answer of this question is conflict and cooperation. So conflict भी होगा society में, cooperation भी होगा, but out of these four the most appropriate option is conflict and cooperation. Because कोई भी society ऐसी नहीं होती है जिसमें सिर्फ conflict हो या सिर्फ cooperation हो. तो society में conflict और cooperation दोनों होंगे. Sanskritization सभी society में नहीं होगा. Sanskritization is peculiar to say Indian subcontinent. Okay. Now come to the next question. So when a man robs a bank, finds expression in disguised form, right? So id, ego, superego, I and me. This is the question from concept of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud talked about id, ego and superego. Id talk on pleasure principle, while superego talks on morality principle. While ego take balance of both. Understand? So when a man robs bank, find expression in disguised form of id. He is working on pleasure principle. What he want to do? He want to get money by any possible means, including robbing a bank. Understand? So now come to the next question. Next question is, Konyak Naga was studied by G.S. Ghure, Verrier Elwin, Hammondorf, W.H.R. Rivers. You all know that G.S. Ghure studied which tribe? Mahadev Kolis. Verrier Elwin studied Baigas. Baigas of Odisha and Gond of Madhya Pradesh. Understand? Hammondorf, yes. This person studied Konyak Naga tribe. You know, Naga is not a one tribe. Naga is a collection of tribe. Naga में बहुत सारे Naga and one of the very important Naga tribe is, part of Naga tribe is Konyak Naga. So Hammondorf studied Konyak Naga. W.H.R. Rivers studied Todas. So many times I have talked about it. Todas were in Nilgiri. They are very peculiar in practicing fraternal polyandry. Understand? Another example of fraternal polyandry is Kenny tribes of Himachal Pradesh. Alright, so come to the next question. Sociology is a science because it is objective, value-free, methodological, quantitative. The correct answer is, you can pause and then mark correct, and obviously I will explain it. So the correct answer is none but, because sociology is methodological. Understand? Objective not necessarily means science. Value free, sociology is not always value free. You know what Max Weber said, that it is very difficult to have a value free sociology, because even when you choose any subject matter, so the moment you choose subject matter, you imposed your preference. So this is not value free. He talked about value neutrality and value relevance. Quantitative doesn't mean it is science. Quantitative may be social science also, right? So correct answer is methodological. Now come to next question. Who wrote the book Peoples of India? All right. So Louis Dumont, really? No. Risley? Maybe. G.S. Ghure? No. Yogendra Singh? No. So correct answer is Risley, Sir Herbert Risley. He was census commissioner, right? Census commissioner when? In 1901 census, right? And he talked about Indian caste and tribe in length, and the book is People of India. So book People of India was written by Risley. Louis Dumont most famous book is, tell me, Homo Hierarchus. G.S. Ghure most famous book is Caste and Race in India. In numerous times, Caste and Race in India has been asked in different exams. Yogendra Singh most famous book is that, say, that orange color book with red tinge, MOIT, right? Modernization of Indian tradition. Alright, so the correct answer was Risley. Come to the next question. in India first census, oh, I talked about census commissioner, now the question from census, right? So in India first census complete was conducted in option 1 1871, option 2 1881, option 3 1891, and the fourth is 1901. So 1901 is famous for Herbert Risley, right? He was census commissioner, right? So the correct answer is first complete census was conducted in 1881. So why it is complete? In India first census was conducted in 1872, but that was not the complete census. So complete census of India was conducted in 1881, right? Now come to the next question. Who of the following is not supporter of who of the following is not supporter of formalistic school? You remember sociology has been classified, or sociology based on what kind of subject matter there should be. Sociology can be classified into formalistic school or specialist school and then synthetic school. All right. So who of the following is not supporter of formalistic school? Option 1 Max Weber, George Simmel, Ginsburg, Wehrkant. So formalistic or specialist school, who is the father? George Simmel. So this can't be correct. Max Weber also supported. Wehrkant also supported. So correct answer is Morris Ginsburg. Alright. So Morris Ginsburg supported which school? Synthetic school. Who is the father of synthetic school? Emil Durkheim. Understand? So here George Simmel is the father of formalistic school, but it was not supported by Morris Ginsburg. So correct answer is Morris Ginsburg. Now come to the next question. So book Character and Social Structure was written by Hans Gerth and C.W. Mills, Davis and Moore, S.F. Nadel, Ginsburg. The correct answer is Gerth and Mills. So Gerth and Mills together wrote voluminous literature, and one such literature was Character and Social Structure, right? So Davis and Moore wrote some, it was not book, right? It was article, some principle of stratification. S.F. Nadel, TOSS. I talked in my video, the theory of social structure. So Invitation to Sociology was written by, so option 1 Max Weber, Peter Berger, Karl Marx, George Simmel. So the moment it come any name in sociology, then Karl Marx you can conveniently exclude. Karl Marx ने कभी कोई ऐसा किताब नहीं लिखा जिसमें उसने sociology लिखा हो, because Karl Marx was not sociologist. Karl Marx wrote what he felt or what he figured out, and sociologist took from his writings, understand what is relevant. So Karl Marx is definitely wrong. Max Weber did not write Invitation to Sociology. It is the Peter Berger. Understand? Okay. So now come to the next question. That is, who considered modernity as a result of rationality? Very beautiful question. Option 1 Max Weber, Karl Marx, Ralph Dahrendorf, Emil Durkheim. Of course, who considered modernity as a result of rationality? So rationality is whose methodological tool? Of none other than Max Weber. In rationality, he talks about bureaucracy. Understand? Karl Marx never talked about rationality. Karl Marx talked about class conflict, historical materialism, modes of production, alienation. Under it, Ralph Dahrendorf talks about ICA, imperatively coordinated association. In talk in where? Stratification. Right? He talk about imperatively coordinated association. Emil Durkheim talk about what? Sacred and profane, organic and mechanical solidarity, social facts. He never talked about rationality. Understand? So the correct answer is Max Weber. Now come to the next question. So question number 80, imperatively coordinated association or ICA was conceptualized by option 1 Karl Marx, Ralph Dahrendorf, Althusser, Ivan Illich. Just I discussed the last question. You can stop the video if you are not remembering what did I talk in last question. You can go back, watch that part again and then come back to this question and solve it. So correct answer is none but Ralph Dahrendorf. So Ralph Dahrendorf talked about imperatively coordinated association. Marx never talked about such things. Louis Althusser did not. So did Ivan Illich. इसने भी बात नहीं किया. So Dahrendorf talked about imperatively coordinated association, as well as he talks about three things: degeneration, of one capital, right? How? Because stock market, you can buy a share of company, that's how that capital is degenerate. And then second, degeneration of labor, because he said that Karl Marx said there will be homogenization of labor, and Ralph Dahrendorf countered it and said that there is no visible signs that labor is being homogenized, rather than labor force is becoming highly heterogeneous. So there is degeneration of labor, not homogenization of labor. And then further he talked about institutionalization of conflict. So that it means, what did he say? That conflict is not a possibility. There is no class polarization. Why? Because conflict has been institutionalized. It may strange you, but countries say like New Zealand, where the employer and employee, means labor class and industrialist, they sit together and negotiate the wages as well as the increase of wage for incoming 3 years, including bonus and everything. In such society, when everything is negotiated, it is not possible to have any revolution. Understand? So conflict has been institutionalized. Now labor class fight through various labor union. So institutionalization of conflict has taken place. So by telling all these things, Ralph Dahrendorf directly say that, see, in near future you are not going to see any proletarian revolution. Alright, Louis Althusser talked about ideological state apparatus and repressive state apparatus. He talks about more, but I will come to Louis Althusser, for example, overdeterminism and all. Ivan Illich talked about deschooling society, right? Deschooling society. He said that schooling has hidden curriculum. Schooling is used to kill creativity. People believe that they got degree means they got education. Understand? This is not truth in reality. So he talked about deschooling society. Now come to the next question. Family can be explained as a group, social institution, unit of class struggle, both 1 and 2. The correct answer is family can be explained as both group as well as social institution. By explaining group, family is primary institution. Who talked about, sorry, primary groups and secondary group? Can you tell me? C.H. Cooley, right? C.H. Cooley talked about looking glass self, LGS, looking glass self. So both 1 and 2, family is a social institution. Social institution. Why it is social institution? Because it fulfills basic function in society, that is reproduction, bringing new member to society. And another function is, can you tell me? Primary socialization. Understand? और अगर बात मानते हैं हम Talcott Parson की, then stabilization of adult personality as well. All right. So now come to the next question. Yeah. Next question is bonus question, guys. मैं bonus question add कर रहा हूँ. One more thing, guys. I am working very hard to provide you quality material in form of objective question. So please do like, subscribe and comment about my video, and also refer to your friends who are sociologists, maybe in BA, MA or whatever. Please mention sociologist friend about my channel, The Sociologist. All right. So now come to the next question. So id, ego, superego are analytical concept propounded by Freud, Mead, Cooley, Erving Goffman. The correct answer is Sigmund Freud. Understand? Id, pleasure principle. Ego, balance. Superego? Tell me, moral principle. Can you give any example of moral principle? Can you give me? Write down the in comment. Moral principle. The person who followed moral principle in his whole life, जिसमें superego बहुत बड़ा था. Understand? The guy who had immense super ego. I am giving you one example. Socrates. Socrates could have escaped the prison, and escaping prison means escaping death. Socrates refused to leave the prison, and he said that if I die, right, truth will survive, but if I survive, truth will die. So he accepted the cup of poison and he died. All right. So Socrates is a very good example of man who had huge superego. Mead talk about I and me. All right, I and me. Cooley talked about looking glass self. Irving Goffman talked about dramaturgical approach, backstage, front stage. He talks quite a lot. Irving Goffman, it's an interesting and important thinker. I will talk about it. For example, he talks about stigma. He talks about asylum. He talks about total institution. What is total institution? When I talk about total institution, one thing is very important, that is re-socialization. Right? So what happened in re-socialization? The way you were socialized, you give up and learn new characters. Understand? For example, you go to a prison, right? You may be very stylish, but they will chop your hair, right? They will give you a very simple dress. Food would be very monotonous. So a person who comes from prison, talk to him. He is very re-socialized in different way. Likewise, military re-socialize in entirely different way. Meet all those friends who join military after 1 or 2 years. When you will meet me, they were a very changed person. So that is called the re-socialization. Understand? And it happened under total institution. With total institution, he talked about mental asylum. Understand? Irving Goffman talked about mental asylum. Now come to the next question. In this book, G.P. Murdoch talked about 4 universal functions of family. All right. So the option 1, the origin of family, private property and state. Okay. Social structure, a runaway world. Kinship Organization of India. G.P. Murdoch, why would he write a book like Kinship Organization India? तो cut करो. पहला option, the origin of family, private property and state. इसको cut करो. Why? Angels, right? बहुत बार बताया हूं मैं. इसके बाद social structure, a runaway world. This book has been written by Edmund Leach. What did Edmund Leach said in this book? That isolated nuclear family act as a overloaded electrical circuits. So much stress, so much expectation. That's why he explained that in isolated nuclear family, chances of divorce is much more. And you can write down in comment that who said that isolated nuclear family or INF is most suited for industrial society. Understand? So जब ये सब नहीं होगा तो बन गया एक ही social structure, which is the correct. G.P. Murdoch की book है, right? Social structure. Now come to the next question. In a family, members can be added by marriage, birth, descent, all of the above. Right? ये descent नहीं होगा, adoption लिख दो इसको. Right? So, in a family, members can be added by marriage, birth, adoption, all of the above. कोई भी family है दुनिया में, anywhere, member can be added by only these 3 methods. Either marriage, so new member will come to your family, birth, new people will born, or you adopt someone. So correct answer is all of the above. Now come to the next question, that is 84. Isolated nuclear families are most fit into modern society observed by Talcott Parsons, G.P. Murdoch, Edmund Leach, Frederick Engel, right? So who said this? It was said by Talcott Parsons. G.P. Murdoch said that family is universal. There is no known society in which family is not present. Understand? So G.P. Murdoch never talked, and G.P. Murdoch never said that isolated nuclear family is most fit in industrial society. All right. Edmund Leach, he said that isolated nuclear family or INF are overburdened circuit. Overburdened electrical circuit, right? तो शॉर्ट सर्किट होगा. फ्रेडरिक एंगल नहीं, उसने आइसोलेटेड न्यूक्लियर फैमिली के बारे में क्यों बोलेगा? फ्रेडरिक एंगल के टाइम पे इस तरीके की बातें थी नहीं. ही टॉक्ड अबाउट द ओरिजिन. Understand? Now come to the last question of the video, right? The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. PWDVA came into existence in, ये रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन है, मैंने इसको रिपीट में इसलिए डाला था कि एक चीज आप ध्यान रखो, अगर आप सोशियोलॉजी के स्टूडेंट हो तो हर एक एग्जाम में इस तरीके के लॉज कुछ ना कुछ पूछे जाएंगे, राइट? चाहे अब वो पूछ ले कि दे माइट आस्क सारदा एक्ट, they might ask dowry prohibition act, they might ask equal remuneration act, they might ask Hindu marriage act, adoption act or special marriage act, but they will ask question based on the law. So all those law which change our society, you should know, it should be on tip of your tongue कि question आए टंग से निकाल के मारा खटाक, understand? Bullet shot, objectives are light, bullet shot, hit directly on the correct answer. All right, so ये क्या था? प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ वुमेन फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एक्ट, सबको पता है, इसका आंसर मैं क्या ही बताऊं गाइज। सो दिस वाज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर द वीडियो। आई होप कि आप लोग को मेरा वीडियो बहुत ही अमेजिंग लगा होगा, आप अच्छे अच्छे कमेंट करते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सच ए गुड कमेंट्स। मैं ऐसे ऐसे वीडियो लाता रहूंगा, आप मेरे चैनल को लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करें। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग विथ मी।